And I'd like to bring in Maggie Rulli, who's in Lviv, Ukraine, and Mary Alice Parks in Washington, D.C., following these developments for us on both fronts. Mary Alice, I want to start with you because we just learned that U.S. inflation soared 7.9% over the past year. That's the biggest spike since 1982. So what does this mean for Americans that are already facing high gas prices and higher prices at the grocery stores?
Yeah, Dan, like you said, inflation now at a 40-year high. Americans are feeling this, especially when it comes to gas prices. We know that gas prices have rose about 24% in the past month alone. And obviously that impacts people not only when they're filling up their own tanks, but also it has trickle-down effects to everything else. That impacts the price of food as delivery truck drivers have to spend more and grocery stores just have to spend more to stock their shelves. We are seeing the price of products go up, cars. We know that the White House has been bracing for this. They've been talking about it a lot. They know that it's coming. It is not a good look. The president, though, has to come to terms with how much he actually can control, and he has to convey that to the American people. So far, we've heard this White House trying to talk about their plans to boost American manufacturing, to try to create more products here in the United States. They believe that that will help. But we remember just last week at the State of the Union, we heard the president say he thinks the best way to keep working at inflation is to try to find ways to lower costs, not to bring wages down. People are, in the last year, have been able to negotiate higher wages for themselves, too. Some people say that adds to inflation. The president says that that is not where the country's attention should be. Diane.
And Maggie, I want to go back to Ukraine, where you are. I know foreign ministers from Ukraine and Russia met face-to-face to discuss, again, a possible ceasefire, but they both left that meeting saying no. Is there any sense that progress is being made in these negotiations?
Yeah, Dan, those two men met for about 90 minutes, but no real progress was made. And right now, it doesn't seem to be much hope for any real progress in the future. Ukraine's foreign minister is saying that Russia right now is still essentially demanding their surrender and linking any talks of a ceasefire to Ukraine's promising they'll never join NATO, they'll never join the EU. The foreign minister is saying they won't surrender. They are not going to bow to Russia's demands. And while they want diplomacy until that talk is real, they're going to continue to fight. Now, for Russia's part, the Russian foreign minister is saying right now that they want serious answers from Ukraine on their proposals. They're also promising they will not attack any NATO countries. But Diane, today they also said they never attacked Ukraine. Now, clearly, we know that is a lie. So it is tough to trust anything that may come out of these meetings. And, he also went on to say this, Diane, was something Americans should pay attention to. He said that anyone giving weapons to Ukraine right now should be, quote, ready to face the responsibility of consequences. So some big warnings coming out of that meeting as well.
And Mary Alice, I want to touch on that point because Vice President Kamala Harris is in Poland. She met with the Polish president, and that conversation is happening after the U.S. rejected Poland's proposal to send Soviet-era fighter jets to Ukraine via a U.S. airbase. So what do we know about that meeting and how these efforts to try to help Ukraine are evolving?
Yeah, Dan, you'll remember that the U.S. was really blindsided by that move from Poland. Poland offered to turn over the planes, but turn them over to a U.S. military base. And the United States just saying that they were not going to do that. They did not want to be involved that directly, have U.S. troops facilitating the transfer of these planes from a U.S. military base. And so the vice president is there trying to smooth things over, trying to continue to talk to Poland, make sure that they're working closely hand in hand with this ally. The United States has been really complimentary of Poland's work helping with the humanitarian crisis, talking about in their words, their extraordinary work, extraordinary leadership. This is the vice president's words this morning, just saying that they're shown such generosity. And we know the United States is really trying to support that effort, spending lots of money, bringing troops to try to help with that work, because right now Poland is really on the forefront of this crisis in that way, trying to care for hundreds of thousands of people crossing the border.
And Maggie, we're now hearing about what looks like ramped up attacks on civilians. Humanitarian aid organization Samaritan's Purse, I know, opened an outpatient clinic just outside the train station in Lviv. And it seems like Lviv has become somewhat of a travel hub for refugees trying to find safety. So I know you're there in Lviv. What is it like there right now?
Yeah, Dan, this really is a place where so many refugees in the eastern part of the country stop over here before crossing the border to other places. And it's this hub for thousands of people, the vast majority of women and children. We're at a university in Lviv right now. Many of the students have stopped going to school. They're full-time volunteers. Earlier, we were at that train station. We met up with Samaritan's Purse. They're some of the first Americans on the ground. They've traveled here from all over the country, North Carolina, Iowa, California, doctors and nurses, volunteers that left America to come here into this country at war, to give up their time to try to help these refugees. We spoke with one nurse who's from Iowa, and she said she's been with Samaritan's Purse for years. She's gone into so many disaster zones, but she said this one's different. It is entirely man-made. She said something, Diane, that just sticks with me. She said when she's been looking at patients coming in, she looks in their eyes and they're shell-shocked. They're just haunted. And it is so painful to watch. She says right now, these thousands of people coming in, these long, dangerous journeys from towns that we've seen have been bombed and shelled. They're in need of just basic medical attention. Many people left medicines behind that they need to survive. So the day-to-day life is important, but they're also preparing for the worst. They're setting up a field hospital. It's going to be opening in a few days, able to take 15 surgeries a day. It's in a parking garage of a mall. So Lviv is hoping for the best. It's relatively peaceful right now, but they are preparing for the worst, and this war coming here as well.
All right, Maggie Rulli in Lviv, Ukraine. Stay safe, Maggie, and thank you to Mary Alice as well.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.